There are places in this world that seem to whisper stories if you slow down long enough to listen. Places shaped not just by time, but by purpose, by struggle, and by the quiet persistence of creation itself. Today, our journey brings us into the heart of northern New Mexico, into the rugged folds of the Jemez Mountains, where stone, water, and history converge at a place known as the Gilman Tunnels. Carved straight through solid granite nearly a century ago, these tunnels were once arteries of industry. In the 1920s, trains echoed through this narrow canyon, hauling timber from the high forests above, feeding a growing nation. Steel wheels, steam, and sweat carved a path where only rock once stood. And then, just as quietly as it came, the railroad faded away, leaving behind these tunnels as a reminder that even our grandest efforts are temporary. The Rio Guadalupe still cuts its way through this canyon, just as it has for countless generations. The cliffs still stand watch, the forest still breathes, and now, instead of trains, the sound here is wind through the trees, water moving over stone, and tires rolling slowly over a road reclaimed by time. This is why we overland. Not to conquer the terrain, but to move through it with intention, to step away from the noise of everyday life and rediscover the rhythm that exists beyond schedules and screens. Out here, the pace changes. Thoughts become clearer, breathing becomes deeper. There's something grounding about places like this, something that reminds us we are small, but not insignificant, that we're travelers passing through landscapes shaped long before us and destined to endure long after we're gone. As we stravage through this canyon, wandering without rush, without agenda, we're reminded that creation itself speaks in the textures of stone, in the flow of water, in the quiet spaces where our soul finally has room to breathe. Whether you're drawn here by history, adventure, or the simple need to disconnect, the Gilman Tunnels offer more than a destination, they offer perspective. So as we make our way through these narrow passages, let this be an invitation to slow down, to look closer and listen, because sometimes the most powerful journeys aren't measured in miles, but in moments of stillness along the way.
Well, I've met up with Steve, and we are headed up to the mountains now. Gonna go check out these tunnels.
Steve and I have finally made it to the mountains. Off the main road we go, onto some trails. We get this little water crossing, which was kind of nice. Now we've got ourselves a steep climb. After this climb, we get to experience what these tunnels are like. Cannot wait, this is exciting.
This is epic. First river crossing in New Mexico since I've been back. We did Red River 3 years ago. That was first time doing a big river crossing, but this was a nice little break-in. Get the Jeep wet, now it's time to climb.
And here, where the trail fades and the forest closes in, something is still standing. A cabin, no map, no record, just old wood and the feeling you're not alone. It could be 150 years old, built by someone who came here and never fully left. The beams are scarred by axes. The door still faces the wind as if it's waiting for hands that won't return. Nature has been reclaiming it slowly. Roots rot, but the silence feels guarded, not empty. Places like this don't fall apart. They remember. Whoever lived here strayed into the wild for survival, not adventure. Same land, different century. And some nights, it feels like the cabin knows you're here, still standing, still watching.
Yep, I'm gonna be loving some of this pulled pork. I mean, how awesome is this?
Very awesome. I like it. Heck yeah, man.
All right, guys, we are at the tunnels. Just drove through. We're gonna put the drone up and see what kind of footage we can get with the drone. But man, what an amazing place this is.
Here, where stone remembers and water speaks, time slows to a reverent hush. The Gilman Tunnels stand as a quiet testament to human audacity and nature's patience. Carved by hand into living volcanic rock and Precambrian granite, they feel less like tunnels and more like a passage between eras. The walls rise steep over the canyons, etched with scars from drills and dynamite, softened now by decades of wind and rain, while light that spills through illuminates the stone's deep rusts, grays, and in some spots a touch of obsidian black. These colors were born of volcanic fire long before memory. The Guadalupe River flows through this canyon with its crystal clear water, reflecting canyon walls and a sky above in gentle motion. It doesn't rush, it wanders. It turns and curves with confidence, shaping the canyon grain by grain, century by century. It's a reminder that everything powerful doesn't need to be loud. In careful embrace, the canyon holds both towering wall, layered with stories of ancient eruptions and slow erosion, their face catching the sun at different hours like shifting moods. Shadows stretch long and cool, offering refuge from the desert heat, while swallows cut the air above, tracing invisible paths only they understand. Pines cling where they can, stubborn and green, their roots gripping stone as if refusing to let go of time itself. Here, beauty is not polished. It is rugged, honest, and earned. You feel small, but not irrelevant. You feel quiet, but deeply awake. The canyon doesn't demand attention, it invites reflection. The Gilman Tunnels, the Guadalupe River, and the canyon that cradles them both don't simply exist on a map, but live in the peace they create inside you. And long after the dust is washed from your boots and the sound of the river fades from your ears, something in you continues to wander there, quietly, freely, forever. So, continue to stray, because you never know what's around the corner.